Welcome back to Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian, the show that takes popular moral trends, runs them through logic, and watches them fall apart. I'm Jeff, and today we're digging into one of the biggest sacred cows of modern morality, pun very much intended, the moral argument for veganism. You've heard it, animals feel pain, therefore eating them is wrong. It sounds compassionate, it feels righteous, but it is built on a misunderstanding of what separates humans from animals. The entire vegan moral argument collapses once you understand sapience. Now, sapience versus sentience, the moral line. Here's the problem with the vegan argument it confuses sentience with sapience. And there's a big difference, and we're definitely going to be diving into this. Sentience means the ability to feel pain, fear, joy, all of that. Many animals have it. So do we. But sapience is what humans have and animals do not. It is wisdom, moral reflection, and conscious reasoning. Only sapient beings can understand moral principles in the first place. You cannot be morally equal to something that does not comprehend morality. And that's what it all boils down to is morality at the end of the day. A lion eating a gazelle is not evil, it is instinct. A human choosing to eat a steak is not evil either. It is a rational act of survival and preference made with moral agency. The difference is intent, reflection, and understanding. The Kantian problem for vegan morality. I probably mispronounced the name and I do apologize for that. Now let's get philosophical. Immanuel Kant, one of history's biggest ethics nerds, said morality only applies to beings capable of rational self legislation. Basically, creatures who can think about right and wrong. An animal cannot think about right and wrong, it has no concept of that. That is human, not cows, not pigs, not chickens. Animals can feel suffering, yes, and we should mitigate that, but they can't conceive of moral rights. They do not act from principle, they act from instinct. You can't be in a moral relationship with something that cannot reciprocate morality, just like you can't really be in a true relationship with someone who's a sociopath because they don't reciprocate your morality. In short, morality is contractual. It exists between rational agents. You can't have animals' rights in a philosophical sense any more than you can have tree rights, compassion, sure, ethics, not in the Kantian framework. All right, now let's get on to the naturalistic fallacy when nature becomes a religion. And veganism, most people on earth do not like religion anyway. Veganism often argues that because animals feel pain, it is unnatural and immoral to eat them. But here's the kicker nature doesn't care about your feelings. Does a lion care how a gazelle feels when it bites down on the throat to deliver the killing blow? No. Predation, death, and consumption are built into the biological order. Every ecosystem runs on life feeding on life. Even plants produce stress responses when eating, but nobody cries over kale. Humans did not invent killing for food. We simply became self aware enough to manage it responsibly. Pretending we can escape nature by moralizing it is the same arrogance that drives every failed utopian ideology. You are not transcending nature by refusing steak. You are misunderstanding your place in the hierarchy of life. The science of sapiens, why humans are very different than animals. Now, you may be thinking, well, that's not true. No, yes, it is. First part, neurologically, humans are wired for abstract reasoning and moral reflection. We can imagine futures, build civilizations, and contemplate the ethics of our actions. That's the thing. We are rational beings. Animals cannot. They communicate immediate needs, not abstract ideas. They can't debate the ethics of eating, the morality of ownership, or the philosophy of freedom, which we can all do very well. Some not so much, but that's just a little joke. That is why human rights exist and animal rights do not. Rights are not about avoiding harm. They are about recognizing agency. A cow does not have rights because it can't have duties. It can't choose to respect your rights, so there is no reciprocal moral structure. We protect animals out of compassion, not obligation. That is moral hierarchy, not hypocrisy. And here's the practical side. Veganism does not eliminate harm. It only outsources it to someone else. Farming still kills animals like mice, snakes, and birds through tilling and harvesting. Like, whether you like it or not, sometimes raccoons will be in a combine and you'll turn it on and, well, out they go. Monoculture agriculture wipes out ecosystems. Plant based diets depend on global trade systems that exploit both land and labor. And honestly, it requires so much more energy. If the moral argument is to reduce suffering, fine. But do not pretend veganism is morally pure. The moral reality is trade offs, not perfection. Humans are morals because we weigh cost and benefit, not because we hide from them. Everything I do is a cost benefit analysis. Everything we all do in life is cost benefit analysis. Now, here's some closing thoughts because we need to wrap it up. The moral argument for veganism fails because it starts with a false premise that feelings equals moral worth, but it does not. Morality belongs to sapient beings, those capable of understanding and acting on principle. Animals are sentient, not sapient. They feel, but they do not reason. They experience pain, but they do not assign moral meaning to it. You can love animals and still recognize the hierarchy of nature that keeps life in motion. That's why we're called Homo sapiens, which means wise man. You are not a monster for eating meat. You are a member of the only species that understands why you do. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share across all my social media platforms: TikTok, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, and here on YouTube. I'm Jeff, and this has been Are You Smarter Than a Libertarian? Till next Monday, stay free, stay informed, and stay accountable. Have a great day.